Hey everyone, this is PrinceWatercress, and welcome back to Let's Play Lucky Luke Wanted for the Game Boy Advance. In the last video, we made our way through Apache territory, and we now have 3 of the Dalton brothers in custody. We're now going for the last one. And we are now in this penitentiary, and the last of the Dalton brothers is now taking control. So we need to get a move on. This jail wagon is locked. That's weird. So this should be unlocked, but for some reason we can't go into it. Also, you're going to have to be mighty careful doing things because you never know who might hurt you. And don't fall into these pits. Oh. Yeah, don't fall into these pits, because they're really spikes. And that's the last thing I wanted to have happen. Oh, come on! Yeah, I'm really not liking some of the enemies around here because they can really get the jump on you and just shoot you as soon as they are able. Which can make them really annoying to deal with. And I'm going to have to wait for this guy to pop back up so I can get some health again and get another extra life. And that guy's back. Well, that's interesting. We're going to have to do the boss battle again from way back in the first level. Anyway, I want to carefully make my way through here so I don't get destroyed or anything. And when the mortician drops his hand, that's when you shoot. And there's 2 enemies up there. And sometimes they can drop health or ammo if you need any of it. Anyway, for beating that boss, we now have a key. And we need to get all the way back to the jail truck at the very beginning if we actually want to do anything with it. And here we are in this area again. So we need to make our way back up. At least we're still at full health. Use the key here. You'll open the padlock. And there's another area where you can drop down. And there's some health from that guy if you need it, if in case he hits you when you land. There's also spikes here. You don't want to fall into those. I'm surprised he didn't destroy me immediately. I'm surprised he didn't hit me either. And there's another extra life as well as some ammo right there. Want to be very careful here. We're going to have to drop down from a higher level to get to that key. So let's just be very careful as you go through here. Not sure why there are roulette games here in the penitentiary. I guess that's from the last of the Dalton brothers being here. And now we have another key. And we're going to have to go elsewhere to use that key. But where to? Well, it's right here. You have to go back down and then use the key that you find at a certain door. And you'll know it when you see it. And thankfully, this level gives you a few extra lives and quite a bit of health. And I kind of need him to stop doing that. And here's where we need to use the key, this dark blue door. Great to see you again, cowboy. Dang you, Lucky Luke. Why, you stick to a man like hot tar. But didn't much help you miss my ambush now. Yeah, the bad idea is sitting down on that there heating duct. So what you need to do is you need to avoid fingers, and you need to go all the way back to where you began and throw the log that you found in the lower right corner in the... Really? In the furnace there. Fingers will try to take the... Fingers will try to take the log from you. And the Dalton brother here will try to shoot at you, and if you're on the lower level, try to throw Molotov cocktails to damage you. I believe you have to throw 4 logs into the furnace to finally beat this guy. I finally got my hand on the last of the Dalton brothers. Grr. Dang you, cowboy. I'll make you pay for this. You wait and see. Thanks to Lucky Luke, peace and tranquility are back in town. The Dalton brothers will never terrorize the far west now. From now on, the only noise to break the peace will be the sound of Dalton brothers breaking rocks in the hot sun. Also, that guy is making a sculpture of somebody for who knows why. And there we are. Those are the credits. Pretty quick level. And, hey, music and sound effects by Alistair Brimble. As I was saying, pretty quick level, and not a bad game to get through. About the final boss, you have to be pretty quick to get through it. You have to make sure Fingers doesn't run into you when you have the log so he can't take it away from you. And the Dalton brother in that battle has 2 attacks. He can shoot you with the gun, which you can hear. And he can throw a Molotov cocktail at you if you're at floor level down below, which is harder to see coming, and you can't hear it coming. And you need to avoid it as well as a trail of fire that goes across both ends of the floor there, because that can get you. Also, the game brings you back to 3 lives, even though you picked up some in the previous section, which really off-putting. So again, you just kind of have to be fast with it, and you just have to know what you're doing, and you'll be able to complete the last level and beat this game. So now that we've done just that, beat the game, how did this game measure up? Well, it's not a bad game, really. I'm kind of surprised that this is actually a port of a Super Nintendo game. I've heard a little of the music from the Super Nintendo game, and honestly, I feel like the music here is a little better. Maybe. Also, it's interesting that the original Super Nintendo game was also based on the Tintin games for Super Nintendo, the 2 of them that were released for that system. One of which I believe ended up getting a North American release. I think. I could be wrong on that. And I'm surprised they changed some things around so that way the game was a little better compared to the Super Nintendo. The music's better, and some levels that were in the Super Nintendo version of the game are not here. I do need to play the Super Nintendo version, though. now that I know of its existence. That would be rather interesting. But as it stands, I'm done with this game for now. So let's go ahead and give this bad boy a mini review. I like the graphics. Pretty easily identifiable. Pretty bright and colorful. I can't complain on that front. Sound and music. Music's alright. Definitely reminds me of other European developed games that I've played on the channel. Everything, well, just about everything sounds like a dance mix or something. But I'm kind of interested in that kind of music, so I can't really complain there either. Do like the sound too. You do have the explosion of dynamite, the rather loud crack-like noise of a bullet being fired. Lucky Luke going, yeah, when you pick up a power-up. It's pretty nice, all things considered. And it didn't come off as annoying or anything. I did like that. Gameplay, not too bad. Very responsive. I didn't have any problem with it. Lucky Luke was able to really move in this game compared to the Game Boy Color game that I played some time ago before this. Lucky Luke moves pretty fast in this game. My only complaint is that the enemies get a little faster and a little more dangerous near the end. But at least the game gives you enough health throughout the level to make up for that. And finally, the replay value. You won't have much to bring you back once you play through this game, but at least there's a difficulty, which I'm assuming is the Super Nintendo default for the game. It's also worth noting that unlike the Super Nintendo version of the game, there are bonus cards that you can pick up for bonus levels in all but the last 3 levels of the game. Yes, the final level didn't have any cards either. And if you can do things in the bonus levels, well, you pretty much get nothing but bragging rights, but they're still fun to play. I can imagine difficult being a little bit harder than normal. But at this rate, now that I've beaten this game, I'm not exactly... Unless I'm really in the mood to do it, I probably won't play this game on difficult. We'll see. Never say never. And finally, is this game worth picking up? Well, yes, actually. I actually had quite a bit of a time playing through this game and figuring things out and learning how to do things and also trying not to die. This was pretty fun. It was a little less difficult than the Game Boy Color game in the Lucky Luke video game series that I played a while back. And because of that, it ended up being a little more playable and a little more fun. The difficulty was just right on this one, I believe. And you have 2 difficulty levels, so you got that going for you. So if you need to import something from Europe, you can't do worse. Is that the proper term? Is that the proper statement to say? There are worse games you can get. This one's a good, solid place to start. That's how I should say it. Yeah, you might as well go ahead and import this one, check it out, and take it for a spin. But anyway, this has been Let's Play Lucky Luke Wanted. for the Nintendo Game Boy Advance. Hopefully you enjoyed this as much as I did, maybe just a little bit more, and hopefully I will be back with another game. Maybe it'll be good, maybe it'll be bad, maybe it'll be somewhere in between, who knows. Until then, this is PrinceWatercress. Take care, stay safe, thanks for watching, and see y'all later!